I have had many exciting adventures in my travels as a druid. One of the most memorable was the discovery of the fascinating creature known as the Wolpertinger. It was a tiny thing, with long, floppy ears and light fur covering its small body. Some Wolpertingers have wings, some do not, but they all have short legs and small antlers on their heads. Its bright, inquisitive eyes gave it a curious and playful demeanor. Despite its small size, there was something unsettling about this little creature, as if it knew more than it let on. I first encountered the Wolpertinger while exploring a dense forest. I was making my way through the underbrush when I heard a strange noise. At first, I thought it might be a bird, but as I drew closer, I realized it was something much more unusual. And there, perched on a tree branch, was the Wolpertinger. It was staring at me with its bright, curious eyes, and I couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder and awe. At first, I was hesitant to approach the creature. I knew that monstrosities could be dangerous, and I didn't want to put myself in harm's way. But as I watched the Wolpertinger, I realized that it wasn't showing any signs of aggression. Instead, it seemed to be watching me with a playful curiosity, as if it were trying to figure out who I was and what I was doing in its forest. Feeling emboldened, I took a step closer to the creature. It didn't fly away or attack me, but it simply tilted its head to the side and continued to stare at me with its bright, inquisitive eyes. I could tell that the Wolpertinger was intelligent, and I felt a sense of respect and admiration for this strange, beautiful creature. As I continued to watch, I noticed that it had a number of physical traits that set it apart from other creatures I had encountered in my travels. Its wings were strong and well-formed, and it had a powerful sense of balance that allowed it to perch on even the thinnest of tree branches. Its antlers were small and delicate, but they seemed to give the creature a sense of dignity and grace. I knew that it was a rare and special creature, and I didn't want to do anything that might harm it. Instead, I simply stood there, watching as the creature took off into the sky and disappeared from view. I felt a sense of loss as it left, but I also knew that I had been lucky to have had the chance to encounter such a unique and wondrous creature. I remember well how I came across it. As I walked deeper into the forest, I began to notice something unusual. It was a strange, high-pitched noise, almost like a whistling or a chirping. At first, I thought it might be a bird, but as I drew closer, I realized it was something much more unusual. There, perched on a tree branch, was the first Wolpertinger. It was staring at me with its bright, curious eyes. Despite its small size, there was something unsettling about this little creature, but I couldn't quite put my finger on what it was. Perhaps it was the slightly scrambled look of its overall appearance, or the fact that it had wings on its body. I watched as this particular Wolpertinger took off into the sky, flying in circles around me before disappearing into the forest. And I knew that I had to follow it to learn more about this strange and wondrous creature. As I chased after the Wolpertinger, I found myself moving deeper and deeper into the forest, until I was surrounded by trees on all sides. The forest was thick and dense, with underbrush that made it hard to see more than a few feet in any direction. But I pressed on, following the sound of the creature's wings as it flew through the trees. Finally, after what seemed like hours of wandering through the forest, I came to a clearing. In the center of the clearing was a small pond, surrounded by tall grass and wildflowers. And there, in the center of the pond, was a whole group of them. I stood there, mesmerized by the creature's beauty and grace. They seemed to be enjoying the peace and quiet of a pond, splashing around in the water and playing with the fish that swam below the surface. I knew that I had to be careful not to scare them or do anything that might harm them. Slowly, I approached the pond, keeping my footsteps light and my movements gentle. The Wolpertingers saw me coming, but didn't seem to be afraid. Instead, they simply tilted their heads to the side and continued to watch me with their bright, curious eyes. As I stood there in the clearing, watching the Wolpertingers play in the water, I felt a sense of calm and peace wash over me. I knew that I had found something special, something that would stay with me for the rest of my life. And I felt grateful, knowing that I had been lucky enough to have had the chance to encounter such unique and wondrous creatures. The Wolpertinger is a fascinating creature with a unique and intriguing appearance. It is a tiny, beastly monster, standing on short legs and covered in either dark or light fur that gives it a slightly sinister appearance. However, its long, floppy ears and small antlers on its head give it a playful and curious demeanor that is hard to resist. The creature's wings are one of its most striking features, with a strong and well-formed structure that allows it to fly with ease. Some of them had wings, some seemed to lack them. Perhaps the females have wings and the males do not. I had a sense that the flying ones were females. The wingless ones were slightly bigger and bulkier, perhaps capable to protect the group. The wings are spread out, ready to take flight at any moment, and they give the Wolpertinger an almost ethereal quality that is both beautiful and awe-inspiring. Despite its small size, the Wolpertinger has a powerful sense of balance that allows it to perch on even the thinnest of tree branches. This, combined with its bright, inquisitive eyes, gives the creature a sense of grace and dignity that is hard to ignore once you get past the strange, almost twisted overall appearance. In my opinion, the Wolpertinger is a beautiful creature, with a unique and intriguing appearance that sets it apart from other monstrosities. Its small size and playful demeanor make it seem almost cute and approachable, despite its potentially dangerous nature. I would love to see the Wolpertinger again, and I think it would be fascinating to learn more about this rare and special creature. Its appearance and behavior are truly unique, and I feel lucky to have had the chance to encounter it in the wild. As a druid who has encountered the Wolpertinger, I can say that while it may have the potential to be dangerous, it didn't show any signs of aggression towards me. That being said, it's always important to approach any monstrosity with caution and respect. It's difficult to say where you can find more of these creatures. I only encountered them once, and they seem to enjoy hiding themselves. As such, I think that the Wolpertinger is a rare and elusive creature, and it's not often seen in the wild. However, it's possible that they might be found in dense forests or other areas with plenty of trees and underbrush. Keep your eyes and ears open, and you might just be lucky enough to encounter one yourself. As I stood there in the clearing, watching the Wolpertingers run and fly away after a while, I felt a sense of awe and wonder wash over me. I knew that I had been lucky to have had the chance to encounter such a rare and special creature, and I felt grateful for the experience. In the days and weeks that followed, I found myself thinking often about the Wolpertinger. I couldn't shake the sense of curiosity and fascination that it had sparked in me, and I knew that I wanted to learn more about this strange and wondrous creature. So I set out on a new journey, determined to uncover the secrets of the world and to learn everything I could about creatures, habits, behaviors, and biology. I spent years researching creatures, poring over books and manuscripts, and speaking with other druids and naturalists who had encountered things in their own travels. Finally, I went out on my own, leaving behind the grove where I grew up. From that day forward, I dedicated myself to the study of nature and to the exploration of the many mysteries and wonders that lay hidden in the forests, mountains, and oceans of our world. And though I would encounter many other strange and wondrous creatures in my travels, the memory of the Wolpertinger would always hold a special place in my heart, reminding me of the beauty and complexity of the natural world and of the many mysteries that await us all.